Welcome to the Spurs News Podcast, your home for all things Tottenham Hotspur. Now, here are your hosts.
Hello everybody and welcome back to a new episode of the Spurs News Podcast. I am Sam. Today, it was going to be a solo show. It was just going to be me talking to myself. Matt, unfortunately, due to the tube strikes in London, has had to rush into work last minute. We couldn't set up any other time, which is on me. But luckily, at the last minute, a super sub has arrived. I'm going to introduce him now. Basically, if Amazon make another documentary, this would be the only bit they listen to of our podcast. It's super sub, it's Stephan.
Oh God, I hope they don't listen to me today. Oh,
yeah, I don't know.
That's not going to be a good documentary to watch.
Yeah,
so
this is a Spurs News podcast. It's a show that we try and do weekly as best we possibly can, talking all things Tottenham. We do have some time off sometimes for international breaks. We definitely take the summer off because, let's face it, we all earn that as a break from Tottenham. And this week, last week, me and Matt on the show kind of attacked the question of what the hell's wrong with us. You know, we beat Man City and played great. We then go to Burnley and lose. The manager was like ready to jump. And it was like, what the hell? We then thump Leeds 4-0. Their manager gets sacked off the back of it, by the way.
Kind of feel bad for that. Yep. Yeah,
a little bit. Yeah, and I seemed a good guy. So you're kind of like, okay, although if you watched the Leeds game, you would look at it and go, we won that game 4-0, but they had so many chances in it. And it's like, yeah, I feel good. We won the game 4-0. You can't you can't feel overly down about that. But still, it was like, we still need work. But this would be the platform, you know. You can write the Burnley result off now. That's a blip. A cold night in the rain, you can lose 1-0 away to Burnley. That can happen to anybody. But we beat Man City, we beat Leeds. Come on now, here we go. Next game, FA Cup Championship team. It's like, here's a chance. We can build some momentum. And then we get dumped out of the FA Cup by Middlesbrough.
I mean, the momentum is there, but it's not the direction any of us are hoping for.
That is, can you call it? I mean, I suppose that's downward momentum.
Free fall?
Yeah, there you go. That's kind of terminal velocity, I believe it's called.
That's the wording.
So I've mentioned this before when I'm writing when I do the podcast, and I tend to write a kind of bullet point list of, okay, here we go. So I always, bizarrely, I always write the word open. Like, I'd forget to go hello. I always write that sort of like, okay, here's open.
I thought you were just describing our defence.
Open, no.
Very open.
No. When you consider the level of fitness coaches we got, you do think we might have to hire one that actually knows how to defend at some point. But moving on from that, so I write these bullet points, and it's kind of like a guide. Me and Matt stick to this very loosely. Whenever me and you do a show, it's very, very loose. It's kind of like, here's the bullet points I want to cover, and then we're just going to go off on tangents, which I am.
My bad.
I'm pretty much the king of that anyway. But today, I mean, my bullet points, there are 5, okay? The first bullet point is open. The last bullet point is closed, because it's just my stupid tradition I've gotten into now that I do that. So there's 3 bullet points. The last of the 3 is fan questions. So that's from social media. We got a few from I was going to say TikTok then. You don't get nothing from TikTok or Twitter. Instagram, and we got a few from Facebook. The second of those bullet points is 13 games left, because that's all we have left in this season now. We're out of all competitions but the Premier League, and there are 13 Premier League games remaining. But my big bullet point is, and apologies for the language everybody, is just what the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, that sums up, I think, pretty much every Spurs fan. 13 games left, that's almost 40 points. Like, that could be, you know.
Wow, you just found a positive spin to 13 games left. Me, I'm 13 games left of hell. I'm like 13 games left of this.
Honestly, I'm with you. I go on holiday, I think, is it next week I go on holiday? And I am happy to say that the phone will be not connecting to Spurs for those 3 weeks.
I gotta say,
I am so done.
I dislike the fact that me and you are so close now that you're checking with me when you go on holiday. Yes, mate, that is next week you go away.
That is next week. But I never thought I'd be going away. And normally I go on holiday and there'll be at least 1 or 2 fixtures where I'm like, do you know what? I'm going to find a bar.
Yeah, I know, I hear you.
And I'm going to find a bar and, I'm heading to the US of A.
Yeah.
So there will be bars.
Yes, there will.
And there will be sports bars, and they will probably have a Spurs game on. And I'd normally hunt one out and just be like, look, we're going away for X amount of days. However, this evening, this day or this evening here, this is my time.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to a bar. Come with me, I don't mind. But I'm going to go watch some football.
Yeah.
And this holiday, I'm like, nope, all good.
Okay, so I think what we need to do is just try and... I try and break things down a little bit. Try and sort of jump into this. To take an uber positive point of view, okay. Results like that happened in Burnley when it's hammering it down with rain and that can happen to any team on any day. Genuinely, they can.
Oh, of course it can. Yeah.
In isolation, I think I said this last week, you can almost write that off as like, oh, bloody hell, you could be in the form of your life, then go to Burnley when it's raining and lose 1-0, it happens.
Or in Man City's case, you could be in the form of your life and play Spurs and lose 3-2.
Yeah, exactly.
It just happens. Yeah. It's a blip. Yeah,
it does happen. Now, you also then look at the FA Cup and the history of the FA Cup. Tottenham and the side that we put out should not lose that game. But football is not played on paper, it's played on grass. And in the last round, the Manchester United team that got put out at Old Trafford should not have lost that game to Middlesbrough.
No, I think you get every season. I think that's the reason people still love the FA Cup, is that every season you'll just get this completely random Championship or League One team. And it's like, oh, they've just beaten a Premiership. Yeah, they've beaten another Premiership team. What's going on?
And they don't just beat them like, absolute fluke by, I mean, they played us off the park. I think perhaps that's why it's a bit tougher. They were faster to every loose ball. They wanted it more. And that I think is where we as a fan base are now struggling, or we as a fan base are looking at this going, what the hell has to happen for us to be better, to look like we got desire? Do you think that part of what we're suffering with, or part of we as fans are struggling with, is because in the recent histories of the Pochettino team, for his first 2 full seasons, nobody outsprinted us, nobody outran us, nobody wanted it more than us. Like, you watched us play and it was ridiculous, the hunger. Of course there were blips, but the 99% of the time we were first to every ball, we were into every challenge. The players were like running through walls for each other. Do you think that because that is in our such recent history, despite the fact that it's a fair few years ago now?
Yeah, I mean, I think we were saying it's about a good 5-6 years ago now.
Yeah, I mean, what's that, 2015, 2016? Yeah, you know, half a decade has passed since that. And we've just... It's not even that we've stalled, we've actually gone backwards. The club have made bad decision after bad decision. And it's got to the point now that even good decisions that are being made don't seem to have the impact you'd want them to have.
Yeah, man, I'm now having dreams about Daniel Levy being sacked.
Daniel Levy being sacked will never happen.
I actually had this as a dream about 3 nights ago. Yeah. And I woke up really happy.
Yeah,
It's business mistakes that are being made, like the stadium. We love the stadium. The stadium is phenomenal.
Yeah.
The training ground is phenomenal.
Yeah.
But I know you and Matt have spoken before about the fact that Daniel Levy put so much time and effort into that that he almost forgot about those things that go on a pitch.
Well, what I think we need to do is look at this from a point of view of we grade Daniel Levy's performance based on the football team that we support. The owners of Tottenham Hotspur PLC grade Daniel Levy's performance on the asset growth.
Yeah.
And they are his boss. So when you work a job, you, me, anybody, who are you looking to please? The people below you or the people above you?
Yeah, you don't even want to please your colleagues. You want to please the boss.
Yeah. This is kind of, I say it's a sad reality, but I think it's a reality across all things that yes, you do sometimes get engaged owners of football clubs who are keen to see success because they're kind of looking at this as, I don't know, trying to fulfill some void from their business life that, hey, I can get success here. This is something for me that I want. You also get people stealing the mineral wealth of entire countries and buying success for fun and also laundering money. But that's not us. So focusing purely on us, we have an owner in Enoch and Joe Lewis who do not care if Tottenham win football matches, only care if the detrimental part of the team is affecting the value of the asset. So if we are a Premier League football team, if we are playing games every season and filling in the stadium and doing all of these things, Enoch won't give a shit if we lift the trophy. And that's proven by the fact every time we've had an opportunity to advance or improve, they've done nothing. Yeah. You know, they have not taken any opportunity to go, right, we are right on the cusp here of winning things, so let's invest some money, because if we invest some money here, we can win things. Because they don't care.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen someone saying about, like, now, I was not a fan of the Jose period.
No.
It made fantastic television.
Well, for Amazon, yeah.
But that was it. However, we've said before, if there's one man that you would choose to lead your squad in a one-game matters sort of match, like a cup final, it's Jose.
Yeah.
And they sacked him the week before a final.
Yeah.
Like, nothing screams to me more that we don't want this club to win things.
Yeah. No,
then that's like us qualifying for Europe, any Europe next season.
Well, you know why
getting
they
to the
sacked
final
him,
and sacking Conte.
Well, you know why they sacked him then?
Oh, all the bonuses and
yeah. Let's make this clear, because there are loads of people out there who will deny this till they're blue in the face, and there are people out there who will say, no, he had to go. I am someone who genuinely believes he had to go. He should have gone a lot sooner. To sack him the week coming up to a cup final, when, as you say, anybody in football, regardless of your hatred of Jose Mourinho, and I know some people who are Spurs fans who hate the guy.
Yeah.
They still would have thought you keep him for that final.
Yeah, you sack him after the final, because with him in charge, there's a good chance that you actually grind out a really boring 1-0 win, but you lift a trophy.
You've got every opportunity of winning that game. I love Ryan Mason, but brand new coach, his first ever game as a head coach is a cup final. I mean, that's got to be some sort of record out there. It's got to be like some sort of question one day for Question of Sport, isn't it?
There's going to be a pub quiz. What manager's first game was a cup final?
It was a League Cup final, Ryan Mason. Now, when it comes to the situation where Jose was sacked, and it was a financial decision, the club knew that if he won a trophy, it would be difficult to sack him in terms of, oh no, he's just won a trophy, can we actually follow through on this? But also, all the bonuses and extra kicked in of actually lifting a trophy with Spurs. They didn't want to take that risk. They didn't want to take the financial risk of him lifting a trophy and it costing them more money.
Which is just pure insanity.
Well, it goes towards where the club is run and how the club is run. The club is run as an efficient business which is generating an asset growth for its owner. Now, see, a lot of people have misconceptions, and I've talked about this a lot, which is a lot of people go, oh, all this money going to the club just goes into Levy and Enoch's pocket. That's actually not true. The club does take the money from the fans and put it back into the football club. They don't take money out. Enoch don't make a drawing every month. Daniel Levy's got a salary, but he doesn't draw money out. What happens is they just sit back and let the club grow by using the club's own money to keep growing the club. So the club,
as a business model, it's brilliant.
Well, it's an investment model, and it's a massive long-term investment. I believe, and this is rough figures, they roughly bought the club for £200 million. The club latest valuation due to the stadium and all stuff like that is around £2 billion. Now, they're going to make that, because you've got to remember as well, all of the loans, the stadium debt and everything like that is in the club's name. The club has taken all that on. The club services it all. It's the club. ENIC, the owners, who, by the way, have got enough money. Joe Lewis has got enough money in his bank account. He could have built that stadium without lending.
Yeah.
But why would he? He doesn't need to.
It won't make him any money.
No, it doesn't make him money. Now, he has the ability now just to sit back, and at some point this asset sells and ENIC absolutely cleans up. I mean,
I don't get it. The other thing is, the guy's so damn old now. What does he even need £2 billion for? Apart from a yacht.
Mate, it's not, though. It's his company. He's an investment company. ENIC is a company that will continue long after he's gone. And, they will continue making money from their investments. And this is just one massive, massive investment. And it is paying off for them big time. I mean, it's 25 years? If you think about if you stuck 200 million in a savings account, it's mind blowing. But they have literally done this, and it's an investment to them. And I've seen a lot of stuff about Tottenham being bought, Tottenham being took over. There's always rumours. Some asshole on April Fool's Day every year does one.
You normally.
It's me, it's always me, And I'm going to do it again this year. So if you're listening on the podcast, it's going to happen again. I think the thing that a lot of people need to realise with this is, when you see these rumours and you see this stuff out there, typically any deal of that size cannot stay hidden. A perfect example of that right now in the current climate is Roman Abramovich is trying to sell Chelsea. Within a day of him actively looking to sell, it was news. It was everywhere. And the reason why is because an asset that size and that type of deal, there are too many people have to be involved that you can't keep it quiet. Someone is going to go, "Oh, I'm going to tell my brother. Oh, I just had a phone call from my boss who our firm's dealing with this and Chelsea's up for sale. Oh, bloody hell, really? Yeah, isn't that interesting? I'm going to tell my mate who's a Chelsea fan. Bang, it's on the internet."
Yeah.
So, these type of things, they cannot stay quiet. Now, rumours fly around, but when I'm talking about confirms that, you will see it. The press run with it. It'll be everywhere. And Tottenham's profile being a Premier League team, it'll be the same. So
you'd expect it to be so, yeah.
Yeah, so if you see a rumour from a Twitter account that's not been picked up by anybody else, if you see a rumour on a News Now link, Football Insider or something like that, and no one else is running with it, it's because it's not true. Yeah. I mean, I'll be blunt. I know there are times people say, yeah, but they might be first. They're guessing. They're going 2 + 2 is 4, and every now and again they'll get one right and go, "See, we told you." Yeah, it's a nonsense. It is an absolute nonsense. I got told about the Tottenham NFL deal about 12 months before it got announced, quite a long time ago. And I told a few people who I knew, Spurs fans, and they went, "Oh, right, okay, that's random." And I was like, "Well, it's quite a good deal, it's going to increase our exposure in the US, da-da-da-da-da." Sure enough, it then got announced. And I had a load of people message me like, "Oh, how did you know that?" I was like, well, I actually know someone. I went to school with someone who was involved in it, so that's how I find out. So there are rare occasions. I didn't slap it all over the internet, but journalists didn't pick up on that. Literally, the day it was announced, the first time you saw it anywhere. But then you got another. So what I'm trying to say is, with regards to Tottenham being sold, due to the asking price, due to the level of debt now against the club from the stadium, we are not as an attractive sale as we once were. We're not as,
Oh gosh, yeah.
ENIC and Daniel Levy got us to this kind of peak value with the stadium being built in the Champions League, a stable manager, great squad. If they were going to sell, that was the time, and there was interest. There were several consortiums circling at different times. And Daniel Levy and ENIC made the decision, no, we can still get more money. We're in this, we can do better. And now it's fallen flat.
And now no one's going to put that sort of money in it.
No, because you look at the pandemic happen, and then you can't. It's difficult. They couldn't have predicted that. Nobody could. But it is a reality of where they are now. The stadium's been sat there for 2 years, no naming rights yet.
That is what blows my absolute mind.
Yeah.
The fact that we still don't have a naming... Like, I don't care. No matter what happens, that is White Hart Lane.
Yeah.
You could name that the Jeff Bezos, whatever his name is, stadium.
Yeah.
It is still going to be White Hart Lane. But the fact that as a business run and everything else, they haven't sold the rights to it yet.
Yeah.
Mind-blowing.
Well, again, it comes down to the price that's being asked.
Yeah.
They are looking for the world's biggest stadium sponsorship deal.
Which is great. However, if you look at some of the NFL teams and the profile they have,
yeah, no, I know.
We're not that big.
No, but their idea is, when you have a stadium and you have a naming rights, the idea is that every time that stadium is used, your brand name is associated with it and is said. So at the moment, every game is at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Let's say, just picking a company, Amazon did a naming rights deal, and it became the Amazon Arena. All right, just real stupid. Arena.
The AA,
yeah. Alcoholics Anonymous. That would work for Tottenham fans.
It's where they're sending most of us.
Yeah, definitely. And Broken Down, that also works. See, on 2 levels.
Yeah.
So the Amazon Arena, right, and they do this deal and everything like that. That means every single Premier League home game is called the Amazon Arena. All the cups, the FA Cup, which is Premier League televised globally, massive brand. Potentially European football, potentially Champions League level football at that stadium. Again, Amazon Arena every single time, like the Allianz. All these different brands that you know about. You also have the NFL. The NFL will play 2 games there every year, and that deal looks like it's going to get extended. So you also have Premiership Rugby. You also have 5, they're aiming for roughly 5 music events, 5 additional sporting events.
We've had the boxing, Anthony Joshua and all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. The global reach of this stadium is phenomenal. The amount of events and things that are looking to be staged there, because of the design where you can remove the grass and have, in essence, a flat artificial surface. It's countless. They're on about motocross and all sorts being done there.
You just dump a load of mud on the AstroTurf, didn't you?
Yeah. You got it, yeah. So there is a countless amount of things that they are looking at and revenue streams. And here's the other thing as well. All of that revenue from all of those things is paying for the stadium. So the Tottenham Hotspur revenue should be going straight into the Tottenham Hotspur squad. So all of this, in theory, all of this kind of everything that's there should be working and should enable us to be in a brilliantly financial position. That's fine. All of that, you've got to say, yeah, okay, this all makes sense. So what in the hell's going wrong? And you look at it and you go, because we have spent money. Like the last transfer window Pochettino had, the club blew 100 million on Giovanni Lo Celso and Tanguy Ndombele.
Great signings. Yep.
Now I'm going to hold my hands up, right? I'm going to say this to you. Tanguy Ndombele, I thought, was worth every single penny we spent on him.
He was the next Dembele, but with the added attacking threat.
Yeah.
He was going to be hard to muscle off the ball. He was going to be that player who... I mean, let's look at the Middlesbrough game. We desperately need a player who can get on the ball and spend a few seconds on it and just get rid of the pressure, because at the moment we get the ball, there's no one to pass it to, and then they panic and we end up kicking it somewhere and going, oh, we lost the ball again.
Yeah, it's difficult to watch when we're in that kind
And even Lo Celso, to be fair, when we signed Lo Celso, now everyone who had watched him play in Spain was saying he is not Christian Eriksen.
No.
He is not, but that's what everyone seemed to think they were going to get.
Yeah.
I was looking at him as a player who was going to create chances, but from a bit deeper on, giving players like Son and Dele the chance to really, you guys sit up there with Kane and do your thing, and let this guy ping around. And I was like, these are good signings.
Yeah, big time,
And Ndombele to keep hold of the ball, Lo Celso to play the through balls, Dele, Son, and Kane to score goals.
Yeah.
And,
in the Mauricio Pochettino system, it all sat there, and you're like going, I can see this. This is really going to kick on. This is great. This is business. In that window, we also signed Sessegnon for about 25 million.
Yeah,
you cannot predict injuries and stuff like that. We sacked Pochettino. Tanguy Ndombele did an interview in Lyon, and he basically said the minute we sacked Pochettino, we wanted to leave. It's like he joined the club purely to work with him because he thought he could drive in with his fitness. He is a person he felt was a personality he could really get along with, and he respected. And then we sacked him and brought in Jose Mourinho, who's like literally the opposite.
Yeah. Yeah. One is an arm around the shoulders, the other one's a slap across the face.
Yeah. The antichrist of modern football, to be honest with you. And you just got to look at what's going on in Roma now. The stories coming out of the players talking about archaic training methods, backwards thinking towards injuries and sports science. Oh man, it's like listening to the greatest hits from his time in charge of us.
Yeah.
And like I said to you right at the start of this podcast, where I said about how decision making, that even now good decisions are being made, it's still tinged with what the fuck, basically. So Conte is a phenomenal manager. He is. There's no doubt in it to me at all. Forget his track record, forget everything else. Just him coming into Tottenham, I've seen the team fitter and running more. I've seen the team fitter, sprinting more.
Yeah, it's definitely been a boost.
I've seen a tactical pattern of play for the first time since Mauricio Pochettino left. And I've seen players seemingly learning week in, week out. Okay, so this is now my role, this is what I do, and improving, and I've seen it. So why is it, those things are undeniable to me, why is it we're still so inconsistent? What is it going on? Because Jose Mourinho, for all of his faults and everything like that, said there is a mentality issue at Tottenham. Yep. Mauricio Pochettino, towards the end of his tenure, said a painful rebuild must have, painful. There must be decisions made where players leave, and I replace them. And he questioned the mentality of Tottenham. He questioned the problem. The thing that I found really interesting, I went looking for this before the podcast. Mauricio Pochettino never once questioned the squad. He always said Tottenham. He always, when he talked about this, and anyone can go back and check it because I found this interesting. Mentality of Tottenham, mentality of we as a club. Mentality needs to change of everything here. He just repeated it. It went on and on and on. Jose said it about the squad. He didn't talk about the club, he said it about the squad. Nuno said nothing, walked around, earned some money and left. Let's forget that ever happened.
He said nothing to anyone ever by the sounds of it.
He had it on a timer, 30 seconds gone.
He stood on the touchline and licked his lip too many times, I think was what we found out.
Oh God, was it you told me that?
I know. I think it was one of your comments from Facebook.
Yeah,
someone mentioned
and the minute
as soon as I heard it.
Whoever said that as a comment, I hate you, because the minute I was like, really, does he? And I couldn't then not see it. It was
like watching a lizard just constantly licking his lip. Stop it!
What the hell? Why is he doing that? I mean, I don't know. Perhaps it's a nervous thing, like a nervous tick. But it was bad.
Yeah, Tottenham Hotspur's then have to give you a nervous tick.
Yeah. But then Conte's coming, and like I said, and now Conte's saying it as well. Now Conte's talking about the club in a lot of ways, and he's also talking about the squad.
Yep.
So I've got a theory.
Go on.
This is going to sound so bad.
I love a theory. Go on.
Yeah, so I think there's an alien race. No, not that theory. Not that theory.
In 1974, Tottenham Hotspur actually was cursed by a voodoo doctor.
Hey, don't mess with gypsy curses, man. They're real. I won't hear anything about it. Right, my family, they were like, here we go, we're going on a tangent, ladies and gentlemen.
Here we go. I started. It took almost half an hour, but I did it.
My grandmother, right, always tells the story of the gypsy curse. Rest her, she's gone now, but she used to tell this story all the time. The gypsy curse in my family apparently was 3 generations back from my gran. A man was dating a gypsy woman, and then didn't, high society, couldn't be dating a gypsy woman, so left her for this other lady, and she cursed him and all the men that would follow him to have bad marriages, and that's why all the men in my family kept cheating on their wives. It was a gypsy curse. Anyone else finding that convenient? Anyone else? Anyone else? It's like, I just can't believe it. It's like every time a marriage would break up in my family, I'd like look around and my gran would be like, it's the curse. No, it's horny bastards stepping out on their wives, gran, for fuck's sake. Anyway.
Why did you bed that woman? I was cursed to do it.
Well, apparently my generation's the last, so my daughter's generation will be free. Will be free of the gypsy curse. Yeah, so... Man, it's messed up, and I just anyway.
How many more years do you reckon Spurs have got on that one then?
407. So I am starting to think we built the stadium over like an ancient native burial ground or something. I have no idea. But anyway, so none of the. Do you know what?
Sorry, back to your theory.
No, I'm actually thinking we'll bring a podcast feature in now, which is where we have a different theory every week. I'll whack the X-Files theme underneath it, and we'll just. So if you're up for that, and you've got a theory as to why Tottenham are the way they are, and I want it to be stupid, zany, and crazy, email me, message us on Facebook, send it via carrier pigeon, however you get in touch with us, do it, and I will put together the Spurs files, yes, I will put together a bit of investigative journalism into every theory as to why we are the way we are, because if we can't laugh, we got and it's 13 unlucky for some, so if we can't laugh, I mean, we gotta do something. So my serious theory, right? Okay, check this off. My serious theory is, and I want people to think about their workplaces and stuff and where they've been in, and I think all of us at one point in our life have worked in a place where you are clocking in and clocking out because it's the environment there. You're basically collecting your wage. You're kind of like, this isn't a place where I can get promotion. This isn't a place I want to call it my career. Especially when we're younger, because when we're younger, we're it's about making money to go out. Really, it's like, I've got this job to spend the money on my car, to go out and drink with my friends.
Oh gosh, we all had that job.
We are not looking at this as my life, my career. I used to go to my job straight
from the night out, leave the club, walk to the building, start work, finish work, go drinking.
Wow, hardcore. I'm proud of you, man.
I once did get sent to the manager's office for turning up in the same shirt 3 days in a row because I just stay at a friend's house, grab a shower, go to work.
You would have hummed somewhat, yes. Stefan, you and the flies. We got to talk about it. So what I find interesting is this idea that's in my head, which is Tottenham has a problem rooted into the actual club, and the way the club is run is creating the problem for the squad and the players. What I mean by that is the club is run for asset growth and status quo. It is not run to win things. Mm-hmm. If the very top level of a club and all the management and everything like that, they're constantly giving press releases, of course we want to win stuff, our goal is to win, look, we spend money, we do this, we do that, but actually translates to naff all. It's just words. Actions speak louder than words. Antonio Conte, in January, every Spurs fan was convinced if he has joined us, he has been told there's some money, he's got a couple of players coming in, there's no way he signed for us without that assurance. The end of that window, that window ended with us weaker in terms of squad numbers. Don't get me wrong, I think the players who have come in were good signings, despite my misgivings about Paratici just basically going back to Juventus going, you got anyone spare? I've messed everything up. Despite that being my initial feeling, that both players have been good since coming in, and I'm proud of those signings, and I hope they continue to develop with us, but what worries me, okay, so this is they have come in and they are definitely a step up, they are definitely good. But there is a mentality issue in the club, and new signings and new people joining are almost, they over time become that. You know, it almost like the squad wears them down. You know, you're one of us, one of us, one of us. And it just, like, they come in like, I'm elite, I am an athlete, I win trophies, I'm the best. Within 3 months of being at Spurs, I earn good money, I've got a nice house, my girlfriend's pretty, yay. They don't care. It's like they just go into this kind of, I'm here, I'm at Tottenham. And what do we do at Tottenham? We kick a ball about every now and again. We train at this beautiful palace of a training ground. And then we go home, play some video games, maybe have a bit of a laugh. Every now and again we might go out for a meal or something, and we'll let the press take a few pictures. Look at us as a team. We're bonding. It is really, really difficult to... But that comes from the top. Like, Antonio Conte can sit where he is and scream at this squad, we need to win. We need to win. But if the guy above Antonio Conte is like, but it doesn't matter if you don't. Love you. You're all good. You're wonderful people. What, you want to leave? No. Daniel, no, Tanguy, you don't want to leave here. Do you know what? When I was a schoolboy, everyone wanted me to leave, but I knuckled down and I did really well. You stay, you beautiful man, you. How? Where's your authority? You're literally Antonio Conte is basically a middle management in this Venn diagram I'm drawing here. Yeah. And he's screaming. He's going red in the face. He's jumping up and down. He's setting things on fire, trying to motivate this squad. And the squad's going, yeah, you'll leave. We'll get someone else. We'll still be here. It doesn't matter.
Oh, do you remember that was Aaron Lennon?
Aaron Lennon, yeah.
Yeah. All right, mate. I'll be here after you are, mate. Off you go.
Yeah.
I mean, it turns out he wasn't. However,
no, but he did really help Burnley beat us the other day, so I think he's smiling somewhere. But no, you're right, and that is the attitude. And think about the melee we were in at that point as a club, the absolute stagnant crap of foreign overpaid mercenaries mixed with a core group of players who basically were just happy to be at Tottenham, just happy to be a Premier League player, happy to go through the motions. Oh, we won a game, yay, we're great. Oh, we lost a game, never mind. Like, Antonio Conte's like, if you lose, it is death. You know, I hate losing.
Oh man, that guy loses a game and he's pretty much quit the club. And you know, it's okay.
Difficult.
It's a secret strategy that he's not going to tell anyone but all the newspapers about. My God! Man, sorry, I didn't want to bring this up. I did not want to bring this up, but I have now.
That hurt.
Who has a secret strategy that they then talk about in front of all the media and then expect it to still work?
I genuinely...
What happened?
Genuinely wrote a tweet. So the first guy to write this was Dan Kilpatrick for London Evening Standard.
Yeah.
And I replied to his tweet straight away saying, then how is it... then surely by giving this interview, he's ballsed this up. Because...
Yeah.
It's a nonsense. Basically, at the end of that game against Burnley, he snapped and was ready to walk away. He then had his meeting with his boss the next day, who went, what? And he went, yeah, I lost my head. Sorry.
Yeah, my bad.
And some PR person at the club has gone, well, you need to walk it back. You need to say something to calm stuff down. You can't be going on TV and saying, I hate everyone. I want to burn the place down. I mean, personally... I'm kind of on board with this. This kind of this attitude of I'm done. Let's just burn it all to the ground and start again is really starting to grow on me. But yeah, like
it has a certain appeal.
But circling back, like I said, I fear we are not going to progress as a football club until the ownership of the club either changes or they change their way of doing things. You look at, now, I want to just say this little caveat to begin with. I hate Roman Abramovich with every single part of my being. At Chelsea, I want everyone just for a moment to focus on football and nothing else, okay? At Chelsea, what he did was, from the top down, make it about success. He would hire and fire a manager the same week if he thought it wasn't going to work out. Forget the money. He would buy a player and then dump them if they didn't hit the standard he wanted. Forget the money. And that attitude and that kind of mercenary, that kind of ruthless thinking from the top is now all the way through that club. Chelsea fans, for me, are amongst some of the worst fans I've ever had any interaction with. Older Chelsea fans, forget their racism for a moment. I've lived through the crap and have appreciated the fun, and now are coming out and are potentially coming out the other side of it, and they're about to have new owners. God, I hope they get someone crap. I really want them to get someone that saddles them with dead.
I really do. However, unfortunately, that club seems to have this thing where something bad happens to them.
Yeah.
And they somehow come out the other side like, you have a transfer ban for being really bad and buying in lots of youth kids.
Yeah, they fall in shit and come out with roses.
Yeah,
so I know,
they got banned from transfers for buying too many youth players. Yeah. So in return to that, they then played the youth players and have become better.
Yeah, don't. It hurts. Don't. It really hurts me. It's
Tottenham hire the most medalled manager in the world, and he corrupts the squad and toxifies it.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, why? Why does this keep happening? Why?
Here's the thing with that. Like I was saying about, he did that. He instilled that winning mentality in the club of, it's not about profit. It's not about profit. It's about glory. It is about winning things. So everybody in that club was under no illusions from day one. If I've been bought into this club, it doesn't matter how much they spent on me. I'm not safe. I need to perform, because if I don't, this club will bomb me out and I will be a failure. Every manager they appoint knows if you don't perform, you're gone. It doesn't matter who the hell you are. Look at the managers they've gone through. I mean, I joke about this, that Tottenham can't avoid hiring ex-Chelsea managers, because if they did, they'd run out of managers to hire, because the guy rinses through them. You've currently got Thomas Tuchel in his first full season won them. They're champions of the world right now. However,
champions of Europe, champions of the world.
However, interesting article. Apparently, the higher-ups at Chelsea aren't impressed with their league campaign this season, and he may lose his job. Now, that's obviously changing because Roman's selling the club. But that was a genuine article with genuine quotes in it from the woman who's like their sporting technical director under Roman, saying, yeah, we wanted a Premier League, we want the title, and it's not good enough. The guy has won the Champions League last season. What the hell? You know, Tottenham, Mauricio Pochettino won that game against Liverpool. It would be the Mauricio Pochettino Stadium. The fans would demand it. Yeah. He'd still be there. We could have lost every game since, and we'd still be going, don't care. we look at what we did. Look at that. Look.
Do you remember the time?
There would be a statue of the man that everyone, before going into the stadium, would stand next to and go, all hell, Poch, and walk in. I know it's a difference, but that is a mentality thing, and it is from the top down. It has to be there. You have to, as a club. You can't just put out press releases going, of course we want to win, but it's really difficult in January. No one wants to sell the players to us. It's crap. You pay the money, you get the player. We looked at Diaz, we haggled, we negotiated, we tried to manoeuvre, we tried to be clever. Liverpool went, how much do you want? Alright, done.
Yeah.
It's elite mentality. It is, you can hire the, serial winners. I know that's becoming a joke because of how much we're losing. You can hire the best damn coach in the world, and you can put together a squad and keep signing good quality players to add to a squad until the club from the top down has a mentality to win things, and it translates. We're stuck. And just to finish and really depress everybody, I can only see the next owner of this club being Daniel Levy, by the way. I honestly believe ENIC will sell to a consortium of Daniel Levy backed by I don't know who. But I think...
do you know what? I'm going to put this out there, actually.
Go for it.
I don't think that would be the worst thing in the world. Okay?
You think?
Hear me out on this one. So we know, we quotations know, Daniel Levy went to Joe Lewis and asked for more funds this window. Joe Lewis said no.
Or he just went and had a nice weekend.
Or he went for a nice holiday in the Bahamas. It was one of the two.
Yeah.
If Daniel Levy was at the top of the club and he had football people underneath him, business-wise, surely no one can deny the fact that Daniel Levy, as a businessman, has done phenomenal things for the club. So if he was at the top of the tree, purely business-wise, and he had people like Paratici and another person like that underneath him, who are, you guys run the club, I'm just going to do some business bits and be the owner.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would be the worst thing ever. I fully understand that if that's the bit Amazon listen to and choose to put on a thing, I'm dead.
Yeah, definitely. I would actually give out your address to be lynched. Yeah, without doubt.
But yeah, I don't know. I just think that Joe Lewis is such a bad owner that I've now got to the stage that I'm actually going, Daniel Levy would be an interesting person.
Well, I saw someone yesterday on Twitter say, if Roman's looking for a new club when all this settles down, maybe he'll buy us, and I just want to slap the bastard.
Yeah, that's too far. That's too far. Daniel Levy maybe, but that one no.
Yeah, that one not so much. I don't know what to say really. Like I said, I mean, that's my opinion. That's my thoughts on what the hell's wrong. The problem with that is if I'm right, there is no fix. It's like there is no kind of... Because in this summer window coming up, I keep reading these articles, right, about how this is massive. Tottenham will back Conte. Tottenham will do this. Tottenham will invest. Tottenham will do this. I've heard it all before.
Why do I not believe it?
I don't believe it, and this is the thing. Is like as a fan base, we have heard this all before, and we've been told this. And there are times on this podcast, and I could probably go back and find them, but I won't because it'd depress me. Where I've said the words, and I'm going to say it again. If we don't, this is like now or never. If we don't, we are in big trouble. We are at the moment mid-table Premier League team. We can't deny that anymore. We can't.
On form, only just.
On form, we're relegation fodder. Basically, this season, overall, we are a mid-table football club. We've had little cup runs that we've lost out on, but that's Tottenham of the 90s. We'd have little cup runs, but overall, shite. Up and down like a yo-yo. We are back there. Now, the club has the players, the manager, and the funding to change that dramatically this summer. Do they have the balls? Do they have the inclination? That's the question. The bigger question is going to come with, will we actually be able to retain the quality that we do have? I don't think we can. I think last summer, we did it bloody mindedly. I think this summer, the club are going to be resigned to losing top players.
I think we need to understand that without Europe,
well,
it's going to be no Kane.
No.
If Kane goes, I think Son goes.
Based on his form at the moment, I'm starting to think he's already 1 foot out the door. There is a rumour that Bayern Munich are willing to pay 75 million for him, and it's pretty much already there.
Oh man.
I mean, he had a really good time in Germany. He speaks German. As a league, it's a little less physical, so as you're getting older, it's ideal. I think the club would accept that offer straight away.
I think you're right, and I suppose he's not getting any younger. Kane's not getting any younger. However, they should both be at their absolute prime.
Yeah. Well, Manchester United are now the favourites for Kane. Manchester United are looking to appoint Mauricio Pochettino in the summer, and the first signing they want to give him is Harry Kane. Man United are willing to spend 100 million for him, and I personally think with 2 years left on his contract and the fact he wants to leave so desperately, I think the club would have to take that as well.
Kane with an informed Rashford and Sancho on either side. That's
that's
brilliant for England.
Well, you think about the way Mauricio Pochettino likes to set his teams up for a minute.
Yeah.
And you look at that, the way he used to play with Tottenham, the way the wide forwards, the creative midfielder and stuff like that. If Man United managed to tie Pogba down, because of course he's a free agent in the summer.
He can talk to other clubs now.
Yeah. So there's a lot there. I mean, Mauricio Pochettino could walk into that club and make them better. We all know that, which is terrifying. Wan-Bissaka, Shaw, as overlapping fullbacks. He'll even make Maguire look half decent by partnering with someone who can actually play football.
Yep.
It is a terrifying prospect for us that in those sales we will get phenomenally weaker. We as a club need to be working ridiculously hard to be ready to buy good players. Conte needs to be backed, but we got 13 games left. He could quit 13 times before that anyway.
But it's okay because it's just a strategy to get the players better. He's not actually quitting.
Yeah.
And now he's told the press it's definitely going to work better.
Definitely a good strategy. Okay, we are going to head over to the fan questions now. It's time for Instagram and Facebook.
Now it's time for your comments from our social media.
Okay, man. Do you have a preference of where we start?
Lovely Laura's Instagram. Let's go there.
All right, the lovely Laura and her Instagram. Okay, we're heading there.
Well, not her Instagram. That's a dark place. You want to go to the Spurs news one?
Okay, got you.
Okay.
Luscious Laura does OnlyFans. Oh, wait, wrong one. Yeah, here we go.
Yep, no,
okay, okay, so the first one is...
Sorry, Laura.
Don't be sorry.
There's a reason I'm not allowed in your group chats. I've realised.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Ever since you sent her that weird thing. Anyway, Diasporian1 says, I understand now what Conte means by stability. Just like with any product, you need to know what you are getting from every player every game. We're not there. We will get there. How long would you guess it will take to get there? I have faith that some of the guys who appear inconsistent now will get there. Some will have to go. There's a lot of getting there. Do I think we can get there? I think ironically we've got 13 games left, and possibly by game 13 a few of them might look more normal. I think the thing is how ruthless do you want to be with this squad? I know Dan, Polynesian Dan, as he's known from our podcast group, he just wants them dead and gone. I mean, he's been ruthless about this for some time.
Yeah.
And if you're going to take that attitude, then you're probably looking at 6 of the starting first 11 gone. And I mean being really ruthless. We've got 2 right wing backs at the club, neither of them are good enough. You've got left wing backs at the club, potentially in Sessegnon and Reguilon, yeah, okay. Left-sided defender in Davies, Rodon. Rodon's clearly not fancied by the club at all, so he needs to go.
Yeah. Davies
is so inconsistent, it blows your mind.
Davis I love Davis, and I think the world of Davis, and I've really enjoyed having him at the club.
Yeah.
And he is one of those players that will be like Dele. Well, not as much so as Dele was, but one of those ones where everyone knows it's his time to go and that he's no longer up to the standards we want to be. Yeah. It's going to suck when he leaves because he's been around for so long, but it's
just
needed.
Too inconsistent.
Yeah.
You watch that against Leeds. That guy broke his neck to get back, to make a block, to stop Leeds scoring the easiest goal ever.
Yep.
He did everything to do that. In that same game, I watched him give the ball away 4 or 5 times needlessly. I watched him miscontrol one where he just then passed it to... The guy is so up and down. You can't have that. It just has to go. And you could go through the whole squad doing this in every position, all the way through the squad. There are definitely some players there that with more time with Conte and a real pre-season with Conte, I think, and perhaps that's what's in his mind as well. He's looking at this squad right now thinking, some of you I know with a real time with me, I'm going to sort you out. Right now we're like training for the matches, but I know, give me 3 or 4 weeks with you, I will have you playing. Because I think a great example of that might be Harry Winks. Conte has talked about how he is driven, how focused he is, how good he is. Under Pochettino, Winksy was consistent every single week. You picked him, you brought him off the bench, Winksy did well. His decline is staggering. I mean,
he was wanted by Bayern Munich, Barcelona, Real Madrid.
It is mind-blowing to me.
Pep at Man City even said that he would build a squad around him.
Pep Guardiola literally picked him out as the best English midfielder of a generation and said he would love him at Man City, but there's no way Tottenham would ever let him leave.
Yeah.
He picked him above.
If you go on Facebook, he's a League 2 player at best, apparently.
I'm ignoring our social media fans a second for that from that regard. But what I mean is, he is so inconsistent as well. This kind of... You watch him play a game recently. I watched him play a game for us recently. I can't think who it was. And I looked at him and went, that's him. That's Winksy. That's the player. It might have been against Leeds. I was like, that's the guy. That's the player that is there. Oh, thank goodness we're seeing it. But then, just like Davies, just like give the ball away. Like a real... he's got no one on him and he passes back. He could turn. It's like his confidence is destroyed. Like he has no concept anymore of play. And perhaps, like Delhi, he needs to go to another club to play and feel different and get that back. Perhaps that is the thing. But from a Conte point of view, you can see when he's picking him, he in his brain is watching him in training going, you're a different guy. You know, in training, you're this. In a match, you're this. What the... you know?
I want training you, not match you.
Yeah, let's sort this out. Because like Kane, when Conte came in, was a shadow of himself. And yet Conte was praising him galore for like his training and his work and everything he's doing. And all the Tottenham fans are going, mate, you haven't seen nothing. You have not seen anything. We've seen Kane reach his best in the last few games. And I swear Conte's like, oh, I get it now. It's like, wow, this is ridiculous.
Why are you guys not happy with this guy doing well? Oh, that's why.
Yeah.
He wasn't actually doing well at all.
No, like this is ridiculous. This is the next level kind of... My mate is Pirlo, and you're that. This is nuts. Whether his relationship with Kane can save another season, I don't know. Mostly because of a business decision for the club, but that's all hypothetical. There's 13 games left, so much can change. But yeah, I think as far as that comment goes, I do understand what you mean by the stability, and I do understand what the manager means. I come back to, I fear there's too many people in this squad who are apathetic. Kind of like, it doesn't matter. You know, it doesn't matter if we win things at this club because no one expects us to do anything. Next up, we got MG Beanie, or MG Bene. MG Bene, I think. Do you think Højbjerg contributes anything to this team currently? I think he's fallen right off since Conte came in. When he first came, I loved his tenacity and determination, and he has that in abundance. But what I've seen more and more recently is his positioning is awful. At times he just stands there and is, he's making the point that I've made on the podcast recently, and me and you have talked about. There is something gone with Højbjerg, and I don't know what it is. But when he came in, the guy, for lack of certain skills, the one thing you could say was every game he gave everything.
Yep.
And there are probably still people now watching him going, he is. He is awful at tracking people. And I mean awful. And it is painful.
He's so bad at tracking people that the other... Who was it? Is it the Burnley goal I was looking at again?
No, I think it was the Middlesbrough goal. No. It was Burnley.
It was the Burnley goal. He's so bad at marking someone that I started having a go at Romero for losing his man purely because he was the only person near the guy.
Yeah. And then
realised it was Højbjerg who just wandered off.
Yeah, just like literally, the guy stood next to it. He is marking him. He is on him, and the guy just wanders off, and he still stood there. And what drives me insane is he's then having a go at everyone. And I'm like...
Where's the marking? Really, mate?
You.
Really?
You. Everyone else has picked up their man, and then have looked round and gone, what? Where the... And Højbjerg's there shouting at him, and they're like, mate, that was you. That was you. And that happens too much. So... I saw him get dropped for a game, and I saw him come back with a vengeance and play really well. And now, the very next game, it's so up and down, this squad. It's difficult to pinpoint him. But yeah, the inconsistency in his form it's like I said, the squad has infected him. It's one of us. He's now inconsistent as hell.
I still want. I think I messaged you said this. I still wonder how much of Højbjerg was his stats at Southampton. Everyone was like, he's phenomenal. Look at this guy. Most amount of this, most amount of that.
Yeah.
He was playing at the time in a very poor Southampton team. They were not the Southampton team that they are this season.
No.
And were his stats really, really good because the rest of the team was that poor? It's like whenever I see the stats of like goalkeeper stats, most saves in the Premier League last year, my first thought is, wow, your defence is shit.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, if you had a good defence, you should be making the least amount of saves in a season because you shouldn't be facing any shots.
Yeah. No,
if he's making the most interceptions and most tackles, is that because the rest of the team are that poor that he's happy to?
Yeah. No, you're right.
And he came in, and that first season, the first half a season, so he was with us.
Yeah.
Same as you said, every game he was like, yeah, let's go through walls. I'm going to, And now he's one of the first on my list where I'm like, do you know what? If we sell him in the summer, not fussed. We've got Divine, we've got White, we've got Skip. Bentancur now coming as well at that position. I'm like, if Højbjerg goes this season, then thanks for keeping Jan's top warm. See you later.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Jake Bennett 17 says, I started writing a question, but halfway through realised that it was not only a small novel, but a little bit dang beat. Shall we say, just so instead of a stupid question, club or country? I'm talking major trophy for a club as well, although that being said, we're not exactly in a position to be picky. Anyway, great work as always and hope you're all well. Yeah, we're all doing okay for once. Okay, club or country? Oh, that's tough for me. I think most people have said club, but the idea of England winning a World Cup in my lifetime is kind of amazing. We got to the final of the Euros, and the atmosphere was great. I mean, other than the twats who broke in the Wembley.
Yeah, I think the problem with that question is simply every season Tottenham have the chance to potentially win 4 trophies. We have to wait every 2 years, really, for the opportunity of a trophy for a country.
Yeah, true.
I think Chelsea have won more trophies in the last 12 months than England have won since '66. So I think that's probably why I would say country over club. Yeah, because it would be a hell of a lot more special.
Yeah. Okay, alright, there you go, Jake. Hope that answers your question. Darren Ward.3 says, do you think there's a case for dropping Son? He's very hit and miss lately. Darren, you've kind of hit the nail on the head again, which is this weird form, inconsistent nonsense. Sonny against Middlesbrough should have scored twice easily. I mean, Sonny on different days scores the chances he's got. You can praise their keeper, definitely, but Sonny's better than that, and Sonny knows it. He lost the ball so many times. He got pushed off so many times. It was embarrassing. And the Mountain Man has commented on Darren's question. Sorry, 1 second. The Mountain Man said, Son had a shocker. You're right, mate, he did. He did have a shocker.
Is Son still classified as a confidence player who performs fantastically when he's confident? Or is that kind of no longer an excuse?
Son is a player who likes to beat Man City.
That's
it. Now, at the moment, he's struggling, and I don't know whether it's injury or what, but he's definitely struggling. The idea that his head's been turned is a sad one, because he's such a great guy. But I don't know. There's rumours. There's always rumours. On Facebook, Dean Britton says, do you think now that we have this giant O2 Arena style stadium, Levy and Lewis are only interested in selling the club and less interested in the team? To be honest with you, Dean, we've discussed this already. Yeah, I don't know what to say. No, I don't think they are. I think they're just creaming the profits. And like I said, my fear is that the person who buys the club next is Daniel Levy. I'm not sure how I'm going to cope with that.
It's going to be a good thing, don't worry.
Yeah, nice one. Matthew Fleming says, has Sam had the famous season over text yet? I, for one, feel that there is still something to play for, but what do you guys think? Do you know what? I haven't. Polynesian Dan is either slipping or he has faith out of these 13 games we might win more than we lose. Or after he hears this podcast, I'm going to get a message from him saying season over.
I'm trying to say, yeah, wait.
He might have just been so depressed he didn't think of it. Trev Gain says, "How long before you walk, Mr. Conte?" How do you feel about this? This whole because there's part of me that is kind of like, nobody's bigger than the club, and I mean this. Nobody's 100%. Bigger than the club, and I'm getting a little bit pissed at the idea that he's doing us a favour. It's kind of like he took the job. He gets paid a silly amount of money. He's been given all the coaches he wanted. The players he wanted gone are gone. The players he wanted signed, because by all accounts, those are 2 players he wanted, have been signed. January window's a bit of an ass. The summer window's coming up. He's talked about the club are going to back him. He said it to people. Paratices leaked it via his usual Fabrizio Romano source. The club have put it out there as well. To me, he has the summer and he has next season. If he quits, I think all the narrative from the press will be Tottenham broke Conte, Conte had to walk away, Tottenham are so crap. I think it will reflect badly on him, personally. Because he's come in, he's stuttered, and he's gone, rather than working harder, rather than doing this, I've just walked away, and I'll go to another league and get another job and walk the league like I did in Italy, and yay, I'm great again. So, how long before he walks away? Well, if he does, that's on him. I can't be asked to go through this kind of anxiety over it anymore. I got to that point with Pochettino as well, when he kept getting linked with Real Madrid. I just got to the point, it's like, it'll break me, I'll be gutted, but I can't do this every game. I can't do this.
I agree completely. I have almost got fed up. I think it was after the Burnley game where he had that real outrage and outburst. There was a part of me that was like, go on then, fuck off.
Yeah.
Like,
if you're going to go.
I'm half Italian, so I fully understand the passionate Italian kind of thing. I get that. I'm a very passionate person about things as well. And this has caused me to no longer play for my local village football team because I had a go at them all and the manager, and I now don't play for them anymore. Because I was bored of losing every week, and that's not what I do. Yeah. So I understand. However, even after the Burnley game, even I was sat here going, just fuck off. Go on. If you're going to do this every week, it's not for you. Just go.
What I find interesting from me, this is purely me, is his reaction after that Burnley game was like, oh, really? Do you have to do that in public? Really? Really? But then after the Middlesbrough game, he looked like he didn't care, and I'm like, oh no, you got to care. Don't not care. That's worse. You look like you're resigned now. I don't like that. Go back to going mental.
And that was just 32 minutes into the match.
I know, right? Barry Fowler says, quite frankly, I knew last week's show was going to be bollocks when I saw the title "What is Wrong at Tottenham," and then saw it was only 55 minutes long. So knew you wouldn't even scratch the surface. Okay, seriously, my question...
That was not where I thought that comment was going.
No. So, my question, Conte is a great manager with a great pedigree, and when we play teams that want to play, we set up to counter-attack and do brilliantly. What is the solution when teams come and put 11 men behind the ball? We can't break them down. Do we not have the players? If I'm a bottom half team now, I'm setting up to frustrate and nick a result. It's been that way for quite some time, Barry. We as a club have struggled with the squad we have to break teams down. Ericsson used to do it for us, and then when Ericsson basically got jaded and was done, we've struggled ever since.
I remember even in the Poch days, if a team set up 11 behind the ball, we would struggle for 90 minutes to get chances.
Yeah, we would, and the one thing about that is sometimes that team under Pochettino had the firepower to come out early and grab a goal, and that changes the game.
Yeah.
If you come out absolutely all guns blazing early and get ahead, teams can't do it. They can't then sit in, and that was the Pochettino tactic, because it was like, once we do that, our system then will just overpower them, and we did, and we used to do that on a regular basis. Under Mourinho, it was all about counter-attacking football, which meant teams just sat deep and we didn't do shite. We just sat there and rotted, basically. Nothing ever happened.
Yeah.
Under Conte, I think Conte's trying to counter-punch the big teams and is actually trying to outflank the other teams by getting his wing backs forward and constantly having outballs. Kane under Conte was supposed to be a 9. I see him as a 9, a 9, a 9. He's now adjusted that and is having Kane drop deep because he knows Kane's his best playmaker as well.
Yeah.
And because of that, we are now back into that same Jose pattern almost of, what the hell? We're stuck, and we're stuck in the mud. The one thing I would say that's different under Conte to Jose, and I know this isn't going to be for every game, but we are creating chances. Like against Burnley, we did hit the bar, hit the post, a couple of really good saves. Middlesbrough's keeper had a blinder last night. We are actually opening teams up, but we are so open at the back. It's like if we go for it and we open teams up, we're basically going to this point of like Tottenham of the 90s, which is we'll lose 5-4 or we'll win 5-4. You don't know what's going to happen. There will be goals.
Yeah.
It's difficult, and thank you for your kind review of last week's show. Martin Oakley says, garbage 3 centre-half system, always a man short in midfield. To be honest with you, Martin, it works well providing everyone actually does their jobs. Same as any system, really. But there is definitely an argument to say that we are being overrun in midfield. But then again, I've seen us pack the midfield and get overrun. The players need to work.
Yeah, are we getting overrun in midfield purely because the midfielders aren't doing their job?
Yeah, it's difficult. I mean, it's going to sound silly. I think we've really missed Skip. I really think we've missed him.
Oh, Skippy. Or young Skippy.
Young. Tom Perk says, do we just need to change our formation against weaker opposition? Should we have played 4-2-3-1 from the start against Middlesbrough? It's difficult because I actually think against Middlesbrough, when we switched to a back four, we looked awful. I think the players looked lost. I think tactically we lost all of our rhythm, and he actually had to change it back by making another substitution, and then we got back on top of the game.
He had to take Colo off for Reggie, didn't he, to bring that system back.
Yeah, the team looked completely bereft of ideas without it. James Campbell says, what odds would you give us that we finish in the top 4? Slim the fuck all, James.
I wouldn't want to go to a betting shop with those odds. Let's put it that way.
Let's just take it a little bit more seriously. We have, in the 13 games remaining, it in our own hands to finish in the top 4. To a certain extent, that's all you want. As a manager, as a team, to have your fate in your own hands is a battle. At this end of the season, that is part of the battle. I mean,
I'm looking at the fixtures as we speak.
Yeah, I mean, and when I say in our own hands, it's because we have got games against teams that we're up against.
Yep.
Manchester United, Arsenal. We got, I think, a game against West Ham.
Liverpool was in there. We got Burnley again.
Yeah, we do. We got to play, I think it's Brighton twice.
Newcastle, Villa, Brentford.
Yeah. Look, on our day, we can beat any of those teams, and I genuinely believe that. Maybe not Liverpool. But I genuinely believe we are good enough to win those games.
I'm most scared for the fact the next game is at home to Everton, and Delhi's going to score a worldie.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I mean, I did hear the fans come up with a song the other day. We've got Dele Alli, you just don't think we understand. He only costs $5 million. He's better than Ozil.
Yep.
There was on Twitter, the guy said, you've now got Dele Alli. You just don't think you understand. He cost you fuck all. He's still better than Ozil. But now you've got Dele Alli. Now, if our fans sing that,
I'll be so happy.
I will be delighted because that's hilarious. He cost you lot fuck all. He's still better than Ozil. I mean, that's brilliant.
Oh.
It's also changing Ozil's name slightly to make it fit, but I'm all up for that.
Yeah.
John Coy's Hotspur, again, the best name for a Tottenham fan ever. Despite averaging 4th overall in the Premier League over the last 8 years, we've lost 16 domestic trophies. Yet these two forwards below, Llorente and Janssen, he posted a picture, have scored as many goals from open play across those 16 defeats, including against these teams we've been knocked out of cups, as our world-class forwards Kane and Son. Have the players let us down more than the managers and Levy? Oh, it's a valid criticism, John. It really is.
It's like the whole thing of how many goals has Harry Kane scored after the semi-final of any tournament, club or country.
Yeah, it is a real valid thing, but what I do take it back, John, is the mentality issue of the club. I think transfers down to the players, but also you got to factor in now that this club has it's not a monkey on their back anymore. It's King Kong, because the media love us not winning trophies. Yeah. It is clickbait articles galore. We got knocked out by Middlesbrough the other night, okay? And there is article after Lad Bible, Sport Bible, you name a Bible, and there's a tweet about it.
Yeah.
They are out there just ripping into Spurs. All of these young players are social media savvy. All of them feel that pressure. Our fan base, I mean, my reaction was just, this is another trophyless season. Straight away. That was my reaction. It's like another season goes by. And I think, there's a generation of Tottenham fans who have not seen us win a trophy. There is a generation of Tottenham fans older who watched us in our glory days, who are watching it right now going, this isn't the club I love. There is a real problem. There is a real area of pressure being put on the players, and there's a real apathy from management. You combine apathy from management and pressure from the other side of supporters, I think our players crack under it. I genuinely do. I think they're just like, what am I doing? We must win a trophy. If we don't win a trophy, that's it. We're all, we're crap forever. And it just, their minds, they just lose it. Because I don't think I've seen us play well in a cup semi-final or final in a long time.
No, you're right.
Because you can lose games you play well in. Like that Champions League final, that wasn't Tottenham in that final. That was a shadow of the team that had got to that final. A shadow. And like Pochettino talks about how the delay between getting to the final because of when the date was, he thinks they overtrained, and he still to this day regrets what they did and how they did it, but he thought they were going to come into the final fully fit and ready to go. We were a shadow of our best. A shadow. I mean, Liverpool weren't good either, to be fair, but they were good enough to beat us on a day. And just so many times, like Chelsea in the final, Man City in the League Cup final last season, there's just, we don't show up. That is a mentality issue. That is an issue, like I said, I think it's created from the top down, and I think it's the pressure they're under. And every season, that pressure gets worse.
Yeah, it's the same mentality we seemed to have against Burnley and against Middlesbrough. We're here, we've turned up, we deserve to win.
We're Tottenham Hotspur, we're better than you.
Yeah, and I feel like that, again, it's a mentality thing, but that to me, this season in particular, has been my most frustrating thing. Southampton, Wolves, Burnley, Leeds,
that has been painful.
We have just basically walked out on the pitch, and because we are on that pitch, we are Tottenham, we deserve to win. We don't need to really perform, because we're just going to roll over you, because you guys are, you're Wolves, you're Middlesbrough, you're Burnley.
It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing that they feel that way.
They all walk off the pitch. They go and clap the fans, and then walk off the pitch going, I don't really get how we lost that one.
No, well, you lost it because you didn't show up. Sean Gibbs says, Panto season finished in January. What is the players' excuse for the shambolic performances? Why are they so highly paid yet give very little or nothing in return? Perhaps the admins of our fan sites need to get a statement from Mr. Levy on his plan. The last time I wrote to Daniel Levy, I got banned from the club, so I'm not going to do that again. The Tottenham Hotspur Supporters Trust have on a regular basis asked the club to be more transparent in their thinking and what their plan is. Don't just say to us, we want to win things. Actually tell us what you are doing to achieve that. And the club refuse. It's like asking any business to reveal anything. They're not going to do it. So the only way to really put pressure on the ownership is for the fans to unite and protest and to make their voices be heard. They did that about the European Super League. If after every single game or before every single home game coming up there was a protest, the club would do something. The club would have to act. But, and I say this, the club is in apathy with the players. The fans are just as bad. Like, I talk on this podcast about things, but I live in Bristol. I literally am far enough away from the stadium and stuff like that. I respect anybody even if I think, that's a bit over the top or anything, I respect anyone who takes time out of their day, their thing, to make a banner and go and protest outside the club. And when I see a social media reaction of, look at that idiot on his own and stuff like that, I'm not like that. I think, well, fair play to you.
You're actually making a point. Yeah.
You're actually doing something. I come on this podcast, I talk about it and stuff like that, but I am not in a position that I can actually go and perform this act. I think that organised groups doing it, you need it to be more than 10 people showing up. You need it to be significant. You need it to be hundreds upon thousands of people. At any home game, we've got 30 to 40,000 Tottenham fans going. Of those fans, half of them probably would go and stand with a protest for 5 minutes to make their voices known that they are unhappy at the moment with the way the club's run. Somehow, someone, somewhere needs to communicate with our fan base to drive that. Because if you do, I promise you, the club will listen. They will, because they do every time. The minute their name's dragged through the mud, they react. They didn't pay their staff. There was an online campaign and they reversed it within a day.
Very good. I mean,
the European Super League, all of it. The minute there's backlash, they panic and they reverse and they change.
Can you imagine the look on Daniel Levy's face if all the fans got together and went, right, do you know what?
Yeah.
This home game against so-and-so.
Yeah.
Imagine like a home game against someone like Arsenal or someone like a real big game or West Ham or something like that. Yeah. And they all walk out and for the first 5 minutes, no one goes in the stadium.
Yeah, no, I know.
And after 5 minutes, everyone go in, fill your boots. Even if you've gone into the ground, but everyone just stands in the bar areas.
Yeah.
Just for 5 minutes and let Daniel Levy sit there and go...
Mate, it would be every journalist, every news outlet, every television station would see it. It would name in the mud.
Yeah.
The club would be in the mud. Everyone walks in with a bit of paper and just holds up Levy out.
60,000 fans just Levy in out.
You know, they did that where someone put placards on all the seats in the south stand, so they held up, to dare us to do.
Yep.
Hold up to dare us to dare, is it? The problem is the organisation on that level, and also there are a lot of people out there who think this is nonsense, and they're like, be careful what you wish for. The new owner might be worse. Oh, yeah, all right.
Can they be? Really?
Yeah. Carl Terry says, what's really wrong with the club? The board, the priorities, the manager, the players, the scouting? To be honest with you, Carl, we've talked about that the whole podcast, so hopefully I've answered your question. The last one is from Frank George Hobbs, who says, how can a team that 6 seasons ago promised so much to deliver so little? The players have dropped off that much. We should be in the bottom part of the league, not the top. Are they just second-rate players when you look at the bin dippers and what they do? Okay, apologies for reading out bin dippers because I've literally read out what he's said. Look,
there's a difference in mentality. We've spoken about this before in the pod. A difference in mentality between clubs.
The Liverpool owners appointed a manager, let him come in, let him make an assessment, and then went, "What do you need?"
Remember that season? They got really close, and he said, "I need a centre back and a goalkeeper." Next season, they won the Champions League.
They signed him the best centre back available and the best goalkeeper available.
Yep.
And they won the Champions League.
And don't get me wrong, he didn't sign them the best goalkeeper in the world or the best centre back in the world. They signed the best goalkeeper that was available to them and the best centre back that they could get.
Yeah.
And Tottenham have tried to do that, and we've gone, okay, that's the centre back we want. And then they've signed Joe Rodon, for example. We've gone, we need one world-class centre-back to get us there.
You're right.
Okay, here's 2 centre-backs that are Championship to Premiership level.
Yeah. And that's the thing. The club are more interested in the investment. Daniel Levy runs the football recruitment like an investment company, like Enoch runs the club.
Yep.
If I sign him for X, he's this year's old, his value will stay at X for so many years under his contract. I can sell for more, at least I'll get the value back. That's not how football works.
No.
That's not the reality. You need to be signing a player to win something, not for resale.
And Conte's
until that changes. Until that changes, until that mentality shifts, we're stuck, in my humble opinion.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the last of the questions. We are an hour and 20 minutes into this, roughly. I think it's time to end it before people are ready to jump.
Yeah.
Do you know any good jokes? I feel like we should finish on a joke.
Oh, do you know what? I saw some really good ones the other day, and now I can't think of any.
The only joke I've got, I think I get done for like casual racism because it's an Englishman, Irishman, Scotsman, and a
No,
jokes,
you can't do those anymore.
Can you not get away? Even when it's like banter between the nations. I mean, I think I'm half Irish. I can get away with this. I can get away with this. If I get cancelled, lovely speaking to you all.
Yeah.
So we're going to finish on a joke, right? So an Englishman, a Scotsman, Irishman, and a Welshman all get captured during a war. And they're going to be put to death because they've been spying. And the firing squad come along and they say, right, okay, we're going to do any last requests. And he said to the Welshman, he said, what's your last request? He said, oh, I'd like to hear one last time, Bread of Heaven sung by a choir of all Welsh voices. Okay, all right, yeah, we can do that. Scotsman, what about you? He said, I'd like to hear the Highlands sound of the bagpipes. It's a 10-minute overture from the Scottish bagpipes. He said, yeah, we can do that for you. Yeah, okay, that's no problem. The Irishman, what about you? He said, I'd like to hear the Irish pipes. So the one last time, Danny Boy sung, and I'd like it, I'd really love that. The Irish voices, hear it bellowing out. He said, yeah, we can arrange that for you. The Englishman, what about you? He said, shoot me first. And on that note... cancelled. And on that note, I want to say a massive thank you to everyone who continues to listen even during these depressing times of all things football. I just also want to say a very big thank you to we do have a listener. I mentioned this last week in the Ukraine. He has messaged. He is still safe for the time being, obviously. I'm going to stay in touch with him, see how he's getting on. He's asked me not to read his name out, which is fair enough for where he is. But he has been in touch, so that's great. And he says he's going to continue to listen, which I think is very brave of him during this time. It's hardly like I'm cheering him up. But like I said, a big thank you to everybody. Thank you for listening. We'll be back next week. Matt should be back, hopefully, unless tube strikes and rail strikes again. Mate, massive thank you for stepping in. I will speak to everyone next week.
Stay safe.
Thank you for listening to the Spurs News Podcast. We hope that you enjoyed the show. Stay up to date with all things Tottenham. Follow us on social media. All links are in the podcast description.